the 2 units yesterday. We are with the first block, and first block has 4 units. First block has 4 units, out of which I have covered 2. Now we are moving to the third unit, that is classroom communication. Because this whole block is concentrated on the communication part only. How to communicate with the students or the learners, or from source to the receiver. So let us now move to the third unit, classroom communications. So in classroom communication, classroom communications, you will see the topics which we have to go through are: what is the nature of classroom communication? How you can communicate in a classroom? What technologies you have to use in the classroom? How you will plan your communication in the classroom? What are the different factors which are involved when you plan a classroom communication? Here the role of the teacher comes, the presentation comes, and classroom culture and the communication skills, how you will develop them. Then creating a learning environment. So I am moving to the classroom communication. So the class, first of all, let us see what is the nature of classroom communication. So it can be two-way communication, or it can be a class-wise communication. So let me first see the two-way communication. As the word implicates, the two-way communication was is what is there whenever we talk of a perfect, efficient learning. We talk that there should be two-way communication, means source to the receiver, and receiver can talk to you back, so that what you said, there is a greater scope of the feedback from the receiver to the sender, or the receiver can decipher, can read your facial expressions, can see your body movements, can cross questions to resolve his queries or doubts. So, if the feedback is diminished, I hope the communication is much more effective. So, this is a two-way communication between the sender and the receiver. Now, the second is the class size and communication. Class size and communication. Here, the first which I discussed was an interpersonal communication. Is more or less, because I have discussed in my last lecture, there are intra communication, intercommunication, or interpersonal, intrapersonal, mass communication, group discussion. So the first type, two-way, comes to be interpersonal communication. In the class, basically, you understand by the word class communication that it has to be, any educational communication has to be purposive, should be positive, should be pragmatic in nature. So the purpose is very clear, but if the class size is small, you have more interactivity, means you have more feedback as well as communication. You can talk to each other. So in this class size, there can be an individual instruction, small group instruction, or large group instruction. Small instructions comes in a class when it takes a few very small number of students, and some students in a class, some students are slow learners and some are fast learners. When the case comes to the slow learners, you have to address to their specific educational needs. So individual instruction is generally between, more or less, between two persons, because here you want to give your whole attention to an individual, so that he or she can perfectly, effectively can understand what you are teaching, and there should not be any scope of misunderstanding. So this is sort of a interpersonal communication. and we call it as an individual instruction in a class. Small group instruction, if the learners are between 15 to 20 learners are there, the teaching, as far as for conducive teaching and skill development, these small groups helps to identify the learners. Sometimes in the small groups, the teacher can call by their names. They can set their rapport with them, and it is easier to address the individual learning needs. So the and you can in this you can follow the direct format of lecture, even like you can have seminars, you can have debates, you can have tutorials, brainstorming sections, you can have problem solving quizzes, and hence you can carry out your teaching skill in a very good way. If it is a large group size instruction, you understand whenever the group is large, the sitting arrangement is not like that. The teacher can look at each student, he can interact with each student. So it reduces the level of interactivity between the teacher and the learner, or a source and the receiver. So information and communication technologies come into being when you teach some large group in a class, a group which is large and dispersed class. They can be at the same place or they can be at different locations. So, and in large group instructions, there can be some barriers in the process of communication, as I discussed with you yesterday. So I hope you understand. Now, what are the topic now which is being focused in this unit is that what are the technologies you will be using in the classroom communication. So I hope you all know the technology is latest mantra in educational communication. Nowadays, it is being used to achieve different learning objectives. We have chalk and talk method. No doubt it is a conventional method. We still have simple aids like charts, posters, diagrams. Still, they are the backbones of our classroom teaching. But a number of technologies, number of array of technologies have come into picture, which help student in using higher order of thinking skills, think critically, analyzing, making inferences, problem solving, and thus technology provides access to information, help in establishing the relationship. The purpose why to use technology is we can establish the relationship between teacher and students who are located at different locations. So the various technologies is just an overview, not an expansion, but just an overview. What are the technologies which are being used? And so number one is OHP. We understand OHP is what? Overhead projector. It's the most commonly used teaching aids in the classroom teaching. Where you don't have much of the facilities, you go for such techniques. For using OHP, how you use OP, how you use is you prepare the transparencies. The first thing, you select the topic. You after how you select the topic after your proper research by seeing the matter, then sieving the content. Then it should be broken into small segments, maintaining a logical sequencing of the ideas, and each slide be surely be linked. They are so arranged that they should be linked to the another, and they are, of course, if they should be legible, they and much in detail so that they can give you the proper information. So this is one of the conventional way. क्या आप कहाँ चले गए? कुछ देख रही थी. So you require, so but there are some handicaps when you use some of the technologies in this. We really it needs a sharpening the focus on. If you in OHP you have to basically put a light below it, They are tungsten halogen lights. They focus it, and they focus it on the wall or a whiteboard, whichever you are using. So you need to have a sharp focus. So before you tell your things, there can be the handicap is there can it may be unreadable sometimes. There can be poor focus. There can be power failure, and students basically could not get it. And the much feedback is that they remain passive. They remain passive, and whenever there is a passiveness in the listeners, the technology gets that handicap. So then the another technology came into picture, that is audio video resources. Audio video resources, the audio video, you understand there were the cassettes, their aids, especially used in the classroom situation, interesting for engaging the students. If you use audio part, you understand you need a batteries for your speakers, you need audio tapes, you need tape recorders, and if you use video recorders, you require VCR, television monitor, and power supply. So using the audio, when we are taking some audio sessions, like we go for the teleconferencing or we go for the video conferencing, we can use audio video experts, means some parts, some clips integrated to design the session that will help some teaching points and make the session interesting. We are all focused, we are talking about the classroom communication. So important underlying thing is how you reach the learner, how effective it is, how basically the students they get interested into it. So I hope nowadays the things have come, video cameras have come, and the students they just speak in front of the cameras, and they can develop their video portfolios to demonstrate gradual progress so that they can understand their pitfalls and improve themselves and gradually progress in learning a language as a subject over a period of a time. So these are some audiovisual examples how the students can or a teacher can use for effective teaching. Let's move to the another technology, that is computer technology. I hope you all sitting here are well acquainted what the computers are. Computers are largely used in our institutions for academic purposes as well as for the administrative purposes. Uh, the internet is the word which is common to the community, capture the imagination of education community. This computer technology basically with the help of the internet makes the teaching meaningful, engage the learners instead, and promote the learning, understanding learning rather than the rote learning. So the by this computer technology, the relevant websites can help you to update your knowledge in a given subjects. The school or the institution or the higher education institutions can give their grades, and they can be regularly updated on the school website, which can be easily assessed by the parents. Hence, you can involve the number of stakeholders in the teaching, in the classroom teaching, by using this computer technology. So, I hope all of you can reach to the conclusion that computers in classroom could be for teaching, could be for exploring, creating, composing, or storing and analyzing the data for communicating with others. I hope many of you may be teaching or may have experience of it. You through the various applications, like you well known the PowerPoint presentations. It helps to prepare the slides. Equipped with the skills, it can easily deliver her lecture to the students, and they can assess, search, interpret, and synthesize information. So this way, this helps in the major benefits of teaching and learning. I hope it is clear. These are the basic technologies, just an overview of technologies which are being in the classroom. But for any technology to be successful, you need a planning classroom communication. इधर देखिए, आप ही देखिए प्लीज इधर. This is wrong. So for anything you need a planning, and the planning, first of all, for any communication, the leader of the house is the teacher. So the role of the teacher comes into being, because teacher is paramount in planning classroom communication. So she or he has to develop academic and intellectual skills among the students. So the teacher has to be well equipped with the facts and should analyze the subject to be taught. In addition, so she needs that she should select the content, she should plan the community, not only for the bright students, but keeping in view that the class is a heterogeneous, so she has to look for the weak students also. So she needs to inculcate the proper values among the students to enable to face the economic, social, and cultural challenges lying ahead of all these call upon. And therefore the skill of the teacher, the thought of a teacher, perception of the teacher comes into being when you plan a classroom communication. Then you have thought of it, you have planned it, but important is how you design it. So the second point, when you plan a classroom communication, design and presentation comes in the foremost step of communication, because first of all you have to define the objective of your communication clearly as well as realistically, because it should be possible that can be met within the specified framework. It is the classes for 1 year, you are in a second standard, you cannot take your presentations or design for another 2 years. You have to finish within the particular time frame. So on the basis of the objectives, the design, the content needs to be designed, and you all know the content can be in the form of a verbal, or it can be written, it can be pictorial, it can be symbolic. So verbal, you all understand, the verbal messages involve the direct communication in the form of lectures, presentations, speeches, and talking to the students, while written includes in the form of books, research papers, slides, and handouts. But pictorial, as you know, your communication, classroom communication for any level of a learner, if it is with the pictorial messages, and the pictorial messages are in the form of the drawings, graphs, and in maybe the symbolic, if you are teaching the subjects of mathematics or physics or chemistry. So these are the design. This is the way you design and your presentations. So but you have to keep it in mind that the message which you are giving, the design which you are doing, you are conveying your message. It has to be very simple, it has to be lucid, clear, and delivered in an interesting manner. It is not that you, while delivering, your pitch should be low. It should be neither low nor high, but it should be in the right level and may not confuse the learners. And they may and if you have some biases or prejudices, I hope that should be strongly achieved, that should be avoided while giving, designing, or planning the classroom communication. Second is developing. You are a teacher, you have thought of, you have designed the presentation, but if you cannot You cannot be pass or you cannot be successful if you do not develop a classroom culture. So what is the classroom culture? Every class, as I am taking your class, the classroom culture is distinct. Every classroom is different. But if you are leading the class, if the teacher is there, she or he has to see what should be the norms, what should be the patterns, how the teacher students should address you, how much familiarity or freely the teacher students can reach you, and how much level of the noise is acceptable in the class. So it is you to drive. You are the driver of that class. So you have to develop the classroom culture. So although you may go for a private or a public or a government or society school, does not matter. But effective functioning of class should have a harmonious culture, and they should respect. Important is the viewpoint of each other. The class culture should be democratic, in which the teacher is accorded due respect, and they should anyone who wants to give his views, the other person should be can help to hear it out. We should try that. When we say democratic, we should see sometimes the vocal learners, they dominate the interaction, whereas shy and timid students, they don't open their mouths and thus they remain there. Sometimes there are assertive males, so they dominate the class, while there are some women students who may shy out because of their less vocal culture. So talking, you have to see, while developing the classroom culture, the nobody should speak loudly, shouting, and we should discuss, and we should, if somebody is so, we should try to curb them. Then let us move to the developing communication. You have developed the classroom, delivered the lecture. Now, what is important is that how the communication skills in the learners are inculcated. We have to think that the communication skills like verbal, writing, listening, questioning, as I discussed yesterday, we have to inculcate, because for that communication by the teachers and the learners both should learn that how both the skills, all the skills are important for both of them. So teachers, the students in such cases need to express their opinions. They should share their doubts, their reasoning skills and faculties. I hope your class should be able to make them to argue. Argue does not mean loud conversation. Argue means if they feel some uh, another they think about some another points, they are able to express themselves. There should be they mm, they should analyze the things, they should accept the challenges, they should be able to speak out that can you repeat your point. They can ask a teacher, can you guide me once again, I could not understand. So these are the questions which will help the learner to develop the communication skills while going on uh, while in the going on class. Sometimes you see the student stand up, he or she asks the question, and teacher is busy in scuffling or shuffling the papers, shuffling the books, not looking at them. The students take it very seriously. It's because that will prohibit them, that will discourage them to stand up again and ask the questions. So it is very important for developing the communication skills. You should maintain an eye contact. You should always have not a furious face, but a smiling face. You should try to nod. Even you feel the learner is wrong, kindly nod, and then that will help, that will make the learner to be connected with you, and hence will surely come up with this mind analysis and the talk, and they will able to communicate with you. So I hope you understand how we can promote the communication skills. So this is the way which I was taking overall how to plan a classroom communication. Now, once you have created, you have planned the communication, you have thought about it, but then comes a question: how you create learning environment. Okay, अजीब लग रहा है. So I'm taking up the literature from your book so that you can connect with me and your literature. So somewhere you are looking the numbers too. So how you create a learning environment? Now, for any learning environment, you are just teaching, and you know very much the effective teacher requires more than the knowledge of the content. This is very important. He should be a good motivator, positive environment he should be able to create, should have a sound understanding of human psychology. Because if you don't understand the human psychology, you will not be able to transact the business for which you are there in the class. So there are certain skills will help you to create the learning environment. They are participatory approach. So these skills, participatory approach. What can you think about participatory? May I ask you these questions? Yes, students, can I ask you? Can I have that? I can just have you
Party,
over there. What you
excuse
mean?
me,
Because it is a very common thing. So what is a participatory approach?
पार्टिसिपेटरी अप्रोच मीन्स कि जैसे वन वे कम्युनिकेशन जनरली हो जाता है, टीचर की अथॉरिटी में पूरी क्लास रहती है, वही स्पीकिंग करता है, वही तय करता है कि क्या मुझे पढ़ाना है, कब क्लास खत्म करनी है, किस टॉपिक को किस वे में आके लेके जाना है और कब मुझे खत्म। पार्टिसिपेटिव अप्रोच में हम मिलके प्लान बना रहे होते हैं कि आज हमारा डिस्कशन है कि क्या एक्टिविटी करें, या पहले हम इस टॉपिक को कर लें, उसके बाद में हम असेसमेंट में भी बात कर सकते हैं कि असेसमेंट के किन तरीकों से हम कर जा रहे होंगे। तो जहाँ पे हम स्टूडेंट का भी पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू लेते हैं, और जो डिसीजन मेकिंग है वो किसी एक के न रखकर, यानी वो फैसिलिटेटर के रोल में हो जाता है वहाँ पे, नॉट अ
Correct.
टीचर।
Very good.
तो वहाँ पे फैसिलिटी वो मिलकर वहाँ पे उन्हें गाइड करता है, हिंट करता है, कोई अच्छे
Very
क्वेश्चन,
good.
गुड क्वेश्चन पुट अप करने की जिम्मेदारी उनकी होती है, और फिर मिलकर
Very good.
उन्हें डिसीजन मेकिंग पे लेके जाते हैं। इस तरह की अप्रोच को पार्टिसिपेशन अप्रोच
Bilkul.
कहते हैं।
Very good. Very good, Vikas. Thank
थैंक यू
you.
मैम।
You are very right. Participatory approach. The teacher is not a dictator. Teacher is a facilitator, which Vikas has used a right word. And here the students are made to feel comfortable. They are not physically comfortable. Infrastructure can make you comfortable. No, you have to make a student mentally comfortable so that they are free to communicate their ideas and and get an opportunity to participate in the class equally. Usually we say that we should talk with them. Usually otherwise people say you talk at people. No, you talk with people. And proper for this you have to be very careful in the class that your sitting arrangement in the class should be such that you can have a eye contact with them, and you can just make them to sit out. Usually you find the students sitting in the front rows, they talk much, they interact much, and then the center one, and usually the phrase comes, oh, I was a backbencher. Why? Because the backbenchers, they have no interest whatever is happening in the class, whatever technology is being used. So this type of this type of concept, or this type of interest, or this type of culture can be prohibited if you create a learning environment which is focused on the participatory approach. Then comes the empathy. Empathy means you all understand it is associated with the feeling. And whenever I say that, see, I am teaching you, Vikas, Manik, Anjali, we are all one. See, we have to score very well. That will help me also laurels. It will bring you also laurels. So these type of feeling of oneness is the empathy. When you align your thinking, when you align your mind, you align your emotions with the student sitting in the class, it comes under the we treat the learners that as if you are very intelligent individuals. You are the only genius. You have we all have to make effort. I cannot say I. Here we all have to say we. Some words like our class. We cannot say all of you or this is this class. No, this is our class. We are studying. We have to cross this barrier. We have to score high. So, this feeling of empathy when you give oneness, because when the army goes to fight at the borders, we say we are one. We are Indians. We don't say you are from which community, you are from the Sikh battalion or you are Gorkha battalion or you are a, because on 26th of July the Kargil is coming and the Kargil stations are in Ambala. So basically we can't say this is we only Ambala, Kargil is going, our soldiers are there. No, we say we are Indians. So whenever the oneness is there, whether in anywhere, we win the game. So we learn more. Third is the appreciation and patience. Appreciation, you all understand that when we are furious, we are angry, we went up with our emotions. But in our praise, we are effusive. So sometimes offering some praises, showing some interest in whatever the student is talking, or sometimes we address yes because. So West Vikas will say yes, madam is in line with me. She knows my name, so I have to be very attentive because she'll catch hold of me. So sometimes using such techniques makes you to help them out. So once you always says when we are students, our teacher gives us some remarks like good or excellent. He says this is appreciation of our good work, our good ideas, our good suggestion. It infuses encouragement. It motivates the learner. So these, while some of the small reprimand, some punishments, they really put the learner into the shell. They will not come out. They will go into the shell like a tortoise. They'll go into a shell like the different animals, sea animals. They'll not come out. They will. So lot of such things, no doubt, wherever the learners are, they create noise. They create something which should be indicted. But you should try to have a lot of patience while when you are facing the learners questions or their queries. You should not be impatient, you should not have irritation, and you should be able to just comment upon their mistakes. You can simply tell them or take them in a good taste and put them on the right track. So, a very mature person is required to handle the learner's queries and sensitivity, their learner needs, and this all helps to take a better learning environment. So, my dear students, here we finish up our third unit of communication, classroom communication. There are some references, as I'm continuously telling you from the last day, that there are certain references. If you want to go more, if you want to write more, if you are interested in some other topics, you can go about. There are summaries at the end. I would have taken your class by simply telling you the summaries. You are telling you the summaries, but I hope to take word by word so that probably you will remember sometime that interaction I am dealing with you and help you to attempt your questions. So the fourth unit, the last unit of block 1, which I have told you, communication and information. The block is our what was our block name? No, ma'am, what was our block name? Our block name was communication process. And, this is models in communication process. So I hope by this unit we will be finishing up. So last is interactivity in communication. Uh, There are many issues, of course, which are related to the interactivity, interactive media. So very important. The first thing in this is what are the nature, or what is the thing which I'm going to discuss with you is interactivity in educational communication. Interactivity in educational at communications, and what are the levels of interactivity. Interactivity in educational institutions uh, is that what is interactivity? Interactivity is the ability of a learner to respond in some way to the teaching material and obtain a comment or a feedback on the response. And why it is being so important? Because it increases learning effectiveness. Scholar find it's a major contributory factor towards learning experience, and it contributes towards your higher cognitive gains and optimization of human learning. So this that is why interactivity basically used in any classroom while teaching somewhere is important, because this gives an opportunity to the teacher to monitor, to review, and evaluate the progress of a learner. How could you understand if I'm teaching something whether it is reaching you or not? So what is the whether your level of cognition or cognitive powers have raised or not? So the bringing teaching to the level, and in case a teacher finds that the learner has not understood well this level, she or he can make the level simpler, can slow down the pace of presentation, or she can make the instructional designs, should change the process of delivery of instructions, should have to adopt some different teaching methods, different management of the teaching learning situation, because the purpose is for the successful interactivity or interaction. Interaction is an integral part of the interactivity. So what are the levels of interactivity? The levels of interactivity, basically how you understand the level of interactivity, how much is the degree of control of the learner over the content and structure of program. The how much I am interacting with you will show that how much you have learned, and how much is the how much content you have understood. So it has been it is being thought of that there are three type of levels. One is reactive, proactive, and coactive. What do you mean by reactive? Reactive interaction usually react to a subject matter in a way. This method, this sort of interactions come into picture when a course where a designer prepares a courseware, and small in small segments. The course is being prepared. The learner can read, stop, and then the course who has prepared the course, they have given you some question answers, they have given you the format of feedback. No doubt the learner will interact with the person who has prepared, who is the designer of courseware, but this instruction is as per the direction, and it does not have any reflection of the learner. I hope I could make you understand. Here, the courseware is designed. The question answers are written at the back. The feedback format is also displayed. The thing is, the learner has to go through the courseware, stop, understand, learn, and then answer the questions. And after attempting the questions, he or she can give you the feedback. So, what do we understand? Yes, there is an interaction, but that interaction or is a reflection of a, that is very restrictive, and it was a forced one rather than it is a need based one or spontaneous. So this sort of interactivity is reactive. Then it comes the proactive. The proactive interaction, there is no format for anything. Here, the learners, they go through the material, they take their own initiative to build a dialogue, and they learn it and come out with the creativity. They have their own set of queries, and it is not limited, it is not closed, it is open. So, it will help more to empower the learner over the content and its delivery. So this is proactive, and proactive you can well understand it is between reactive and proactive. So these are the example levels of interactive. So interactivity we have learned. Now what are the interactive media for learning? How you make what medias you use for making interaction among the student, among the learners and a teacher, or a source and the receiver. It is one and the way things. So it is what is the purpose of interactivity? Why we use different devices for interactivity? Why we use interactive media? The main purpose is you want to replicate face to face interaction among its distant participants. It is not a classroom, we are not sitting at one place, we may not be in the same real time, we will not be in the same, we may be in the different places, we may be geographical, we may be geographical very far away, but still we want interactivity, and that can only be possible if we could replicate face to face interaction. So the interaction can be among the learner to learner, it can be between the teacher to learner, and any it. So this is that's why we use lot of media, different sort of media, which can help us interaction during the learning. So let us see the first one, that is interactive radio. See, the audio is a very simple medium. We all understand. I'm talking to you. It's a simple medium. It can reach you. It is available, but this is of course, but if I want to use an interactive mode, the radio is otherwise a one way communication, it is a one way medium, but it has been used in a two way mode, and it is now being used in number of countries abroad also. The things is that this personal this medium interaction, suppose how we do it, a teacher is sitting in a studio and the learners are at the home or the workplace, they can listen to the participation presentations of the experts, and then they can pose with the help of the telephones, by the faxes, and as if you people may be knowing, the Indira Gandhi Open University has initiated this radio counseling sessions through various stations of All India Radio, and the responses are very nice. So you can ask them the question, they can answer their queries. So these are the interactive radio we mean by audio conferencing and audio graphics. What is the audio conferences? This is again a linked teacher and the learner in a two-way speech channel. And the channel can be radio lines or sometimes radio, usually study centers, usually in study centers, but in home it is these type of audio conferencing are being used. In this but the in audio conferencing, what is important is the real time interaction is required, and that there you have the teachers have to give you the schedule, the teacher has to coordinate with you, You are, and you have to be there in the real time, wherever you are. It is not that you need to be at one place, but you are supposed to attend it. And while taking this audio conferencing, it is very important for the teacher here to take care of their audio environments. There should not be noises. The verbal proficiency should be there. There should be so that the teaching learning takes place in a successful mode. And here the word audio graphics is there. What is the audio graphics? They are special instruments using telephones and graphic technology during audio conferencing. uh, in this, if I am talking to you, I am presenting you, like you can just text your messages, or you can draw some graphs, uh, wherever locations you are in the conference. Then there is a use of audio graphics. They need the graphs, then they go for that pixels which can join and give you reply. They formulate the conference like that. So audio conferencing and audio graphs. So now you see we have one more. You have just read that it is audio conferencing. There can be a video conferencing too. But when we go for the audio, we are not able to have a visual view. So teleconferencing or video conferencing is one of the most interactive media available to replicate the classroom situation at a distance. So both here you can, it has some inherent advantages, as you can carry both the visual as well as oral messages to the learners. But is there any need, or somebody wants to ask some question? Can I feel that there is some bit disturbance? Sheelam Kumari, do you have some queries, or do you want to ask something?
Yes.
आप कुछ पूछना चाहती हैं?
No, no, ma'am.
आपको मेरी बात समझ आ रही है?
समझ आ रही है, अभी फर्स्ट डे है ना, तो थोड़ा
अच्छा, फर्स्ट डे है। आप कल नहीं आए ना?
नहीं, कल हो ही नहीं रहा था, मतलब
ज्वाइन नहीं हो पा रहा था।
ज्वाइन नहीं हो पा रहा था, दिक्कत हो रही थी।
ओके ओके ओके। सो ऐसा है शीलम जी, हमने ज़्यादा नहीं कल हमारा कवर हुआ। हमने कोशिश करी कि जो आपकी ये MS 032 का पेपर है, उसमें 5 ब्लॉक्स हैं। हमने ब्लॉक वाइज उठाना शुरू किया है। हर ब्लॉक में 4 या 3 या 5 यूनिट्स हैं। हम हर ब्लॉक को बढ़ाकर आगे ले जाने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। जो पहला ब्लॉक है वो कम्युनिकेशन पे था। उसके डिफरेंट मॉडल्स थे, कैसे आपको कम्युनिकेशन के अंदर क्या क्या बैरियर थे, वो उसका जिक्र चल रहा है। आज आप आखिरी यूनिट पर हैं, जिस पर हम आपको डिफरेंट जो टॉपिक्स इस यूनिट में कवर हैं उसकी तरफ ले जा रहे हैं।
ओके
ओके। सो अभी हम बता रहे हैं आपको कि क्या क्या टेक्नोलॉजीज हमारी इंटरेक्टिव मीडिया हमने यूज़ किया है। जो मीडिया यूज़ किया है वो वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंसिंग की बात कर रहे हैं। तो वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंसिंग के अंदर एक आपका इक्विपमेंट थोड़ा कॉस्टली है। सो मैनी टाइम्स इक्विपमेंट चलाने में अनफेमिलैरिटी है। और ऐसा नहीं है कि अगर वीडियो अगर आपका बंद हो जाए तो ऑडियो अगर चल रहा है तो तब तक तो चलती रहेगी कॉन्फ्रेंस। अगर ऑडियो भी ख़त्म हो गया तो इट विल ब्रेक एंड एंड। तो कुछ हैंडीकैप्स हर एक मीडिया में होते हैं, पर इम्पॉर्टेंट है कि मीडिया एक अच्छा मीडिया है जो को आपको विजुअल एज वेल एज ओरल मैसेजेस देता है। एंड देयर वी ऑल नो द मीडिया इज कंप्यूटर बेस्ड इंटरेक्टिव मीडिया। कंप्यूटर बेस्ड इंटरेक्टिव मीडिया सबको पता है कि देयर इज CD रोम। सो व्हाट इज CD रोम? क्या चीज़ है? एक डिस्क है विच कंटेन्स ए वास्ट अमाउंट ऑफ इंफॉर्मेशन इन टेक्स्ट। उसमें ऑडियो भी है, वीडियो भी है, आजकल वो एनिमेशन कार्टून्स बना के समझाते हैं, वो भी है, एंड virtual reality format है. It is a so if navigate through this CD-ROM, you can learn many things. So it is such type of facilities are available on the computers, and internet has these computer based available networks or network online resources help you to learn more. You have another network and online learning. Of course, you understand online learning is an inter-based teaching learning system. It is designed for best web-based delivery. I was talking to you, there are websites, they have a number. What is a website? If you have a number of web pages, they are in one place, they are connected to each other, they make the website. So if you go to some website, in for this the website we have one server which is connected to number of computers and interfaces, and through web browser we can reach to any resources either of the text or of the basic graphics. So because I just told you that CD-ROM online information is also there, but sometimes CD-ROM information is difficult to be updated. It is not easy to update the information. While through this network online facilities, the teacher can easily update the information, and students, of course, can interact through this online media and submit. They can also submit their emails. They can communicate through email. They can also submit their assignments. They can communicate through emails, and this way. This media is helpful in teaching learning pedagogy. But here there are certain challenges, because in this media some software programmers are required, experienced online developers and graphic designers to produce web pages. They are required. You need a hosting place in the cloud to host your sites. Someone is required to do management, have management techniques, manage these websites, and so these are some of the hurdles when we use such technologies. So medias are being created. So now you are taking interaction and learning. Now this comes that you have used the media. You could understand these are the medias for interactivity. Now all this interactivity and learning, how for facilitation learning through how you facilitate your learning through this interactive media uh, has some implications. उसमें कुछ implications भी हैं, और वो क्या क्या implications हैं. सबसे पहली implication है assess and utilization. For participate किसी भी वीडियो कॉन्फ्रेंसिंग में पहुंचना है या टेली कॉन्फ्रेंसिंग में पहुंचना है, you have to reach some center where you can download the facility, or you for that you may have it may be away from your home. You have to walk down. You may need some boarding lodging, you may not be able to come back. So these are the some implication. If you reach, you need a boarding luggage, there can be a long distance there, uh, and if you have not to move out, then interactive you need a cable. It comes through the cable. The interactive sessions are through the cable, so they need a cable network. So you have to request your local cable operator to give you the that network, so that you can download those sites and you can learn that. So these are bit in assessing and utilizing the while using this interaction technique. Some implications while going for interactive media is that we should frame the topics, we should design the material so that it should have a scope of elaboration. We can talk more about it. Uh, we can generate interaction among the learners and the teacher. There should be number of can be case studies can be taken up, illustrations and example can be taken up, and important you should design in a way that there can have a number of hyperlinks that can help you to navigate, to move from one media to another, so that you can understand the topic well. There should be proper visuals which should be blended harmoniously with the content, so that there cannot be a monotony. अगर हम एक ही मटेरियल, जैसे मेरा मटेरियल चल रहा है, if I add some pictures and show you flickering, you will not see. But probably looking all this material in this way may create a monotony in your mind. So, and this technique basically I have written talking head approach. You are simply talking to it. There is no illustration because your topic is such that I need not to go for the illustrations. So hence, while instructional design has to be taken care while doing this, there should be a format such as quiz, problem solving, some project words to be tapped so that the instructional design can be interesting. So, third is the implication is time management, especially in two-way radio or your audio conferencing or teleconferencing. Uh, the crucial factor is that the time you give proper time, you have to finish your presentation in a time. But that time frame should have a earmarked or a specific time slot for the interaction, so that you people, the learner can easily put the questions and that within the scheduled time frame. So time management while constructing the material is to be taken care of, or while using the interacting media. Fourth is a developing learning strategies. So before preparing these learning strategies, very important is the teacher should devote some time for advanced preparation. They should note down some major points, and they should make the students, as if I was requesting you yesterday, that you should come prepared. You should also read the material given to you. If you come prepared, you can enjoy the interactive sessions. Some summary is always this learning material, as you see in IGNU. It is in this learning material is in a way that it has some questions also, so that can help you to assimilate the information, and this interactive session will also help you to do that. And while if the strategies are well developed, the learner has to be attentive. The strategies should be such so that they may not, if the repetition of asking the question should be avoided, because the strategy is such that if they understand once, and if one has asked the questions, the second should not repeat that specific question. And hence, these are the learning strategies. Some can be the implication of interactive media is technical errors. You all know wherever the technology is there, there can be a regular power supply. There should be audio video quality both in the teaching and learning ends. There are audio signals should be not weak, and the noise disturbance should be the minimum. And because if there will be noise, it may audio falls, the session audio, there will be audio signal fall, and the session has to be discontinued. So hence these are the some of the technical errors we think, or we know these errors also. Organizational factors. Organization factors means effective computers, radios, infrastructural part, television sets, fax, telephones, and other technologies should be accessible to the students. Sometimes the land code or by the governments they are distributed. The computers are distributed. That is not important. They are important, of course, but important is they should be in the functional order. So if you're organizing, if you're making education accessible, you are providing some infrastructure to the learners, make it sure that it should be functional. So by this, we finish up the unit 4 of interactivity in communication. Any question, please? जैसे कल हम स्कूल में हर एडमिशन साथ साथ आ रहा है. Any question, please? I am now. If there is no queries, any question, please. If everything is clear, let me move to the block 2. Any question, Anjali?
Block, yes, ma'am. Block 1 is very much clear because I am मतलब मुझे बुक्स नहीं मिली थी तो मुझे बहुत इश्यू हो रहा था ऑनलाइन में कैसे पढ़ें। तो आपने जो एक गो थ्रू पूरा करा दिया बुक्स ब्लॉक 1 का कम्युनिकेशन के सारे जो मीडियम बताए बहुत यूजफुल था। और आज का सेशन भी मतलब मुझे अभी तक कुछ डाउट ऐसा है नहीं क्योंकि मैंने पहले से पढ़ा हुआ नहीं। तो जब जो आपने अभी तक पूरा एक गो थ्रू किया है वो तो आई एम मतलब मुझे अच्छा समझ में आ रहा है।
वेरी गुड. एनी अदर वन? अगर किसी को क्वेरी नहीं है तो हम फिर सेकंड ब्लॉक की तरफ चलें. फर्स्ट ब्लॉक में 4 यूनिट थे जो हमने कवर कर लिए. अब मैं आई एम मूविंग इन ब्लॉक 2 जो कहता है टेक्नोलॉजी फॉर एजुकेशन एंड एजुकेशन फॉर एजुकेशन एंड ट्रेनिंग. टेक्नोलॉजी फॉर एजुकेशन एंड ट्रेनिंग. इसका जो पहला यूनिट है दैट इज इसमें 4 यूनिट हैं 5, 6, 7 5 यूनिट्स आर देयर. तो सबसे पहला यूनिट जो है टेक्नोलॉजी बेस्ड ट्रेनिंग ना टेक्नोलॉजी एंड एजुकेशन ट्रांजैक्शंस. आई एम सॉरी. इसमें 5 यूनिट्स होंगे. तो सबसे पहले हम यूनिट 5 जो कि सीक्वेंस में 4 हम कर चुके हैं. 5वां यूनिट है. हेलो क्या है? व्हाट इज हैपनिंग? आई एम ऑडिबल आई होप. मेरी आवाज आ रही है आपको?
यस मैम आ रही है.
ओके. तो हम पहला यूनिट चलते हैं जो अंडर ब्लॉक 2 और उस यूनिट वैसे नंबर 5 है. 4 हम कवर कर चुके हैं. दैट इज टेक्नोलॉजी एंड एजुकेशनल ट्रांजैक्शन.
मेरी आवाज आ रही है? हेलो,
आपकी आवाज आ रही है.
मैम इसका बुक मिलेगा क्या? कुछ समझ नहीं ऐसे आ रहा. थोड़ा बुक में देख लेती तो समझ आता.
बुक आपका ज्ञान ई ज्ञान कोश में है मटेरियल बेटा ये सारा.
ओके.
ई ज्ञान कोश में बुक आना चाहिए था. अगर हार्ड कॉपी नहीं आई तो ई ज्ञान कोश में अवेलेबल है. ये जो मैं पढ़ा रही हूँ ये MS 032 का है.
ठीक है.
आप ignu.ac.in में जाएंगे. आपको पता है ना ई ज्ञान कोश में कैसे जाएंगे?
हाँ हाँ.
आप ignu.ac.in में जाके ई ज्ञान कोश में जाएंगे. वहां पर मैं जो पढ़ा रही हूँ वो MS 032 है.
ओके मैम, थैंक यू.
अब अगर आप कहें तो चलें आगे.
चलिए.
टेक्नोलॉजी एंड एजुकेशन ट्रांजैक्शंस. आपको पता है कि ट्रेडिशनली हम ओरल डिस्कशंस करते थे, लेक्चर्स देते थे. पर टेक्नोलॉजी ने टीचर्स की टीचिंग को कॉम्प्लीमेंटिंग और सप्लीमेंट किया है, और आसानी से वो अपनी इंस्ट्रक्शंस दे सकता है। और आप सब जब जैसे डिस्टेंस एजुकेशन के लर्नर हैं, तो आप सबके लिए इट इज़ कॉमनली यूज्ड। तो इसी के हिसाब से सॉफ्टवेयर भी बने, पेडागॉगिक चेंजेस भी आई। सो लेट अस सी कि हम टेक्नोलॉजी का इस्तेमाल करते ही क्यों हैं। व्हाई टेक्नोलॉजी इन एजुकेशन एंड ट्रेनिंग इज द वेरी बिग क्वेश्चन। हम कर ही क्यों रहे हैं, हम कौन कौन सी टेक्नोलॉजी वैसे हम यूज करते हैं। जब आप एंड में पहुंचेंगे तो आपको ये पेपर इतना आसान लगेगा कि सम और एनी हाउ सारे चैप्टर्स लिंक्ड हैं। वही वही बातें, वही कहानी, वही मीडिया, वही टेक्नोलॉजी, वही सब चीजें सारों में है। तो आप इजीली से अपना पेपर यू विल बी एबल टू टेक योर एग्जाम्स। So my dear learners, some of the technologies जो कि commonly they are used are print, audio, audio video, internet, and you all know internet is the latest technology which is being used. So there are some of them are. So क्या हम क्यों कर रहे हैं? There are why technology is used in education and training. Let us take these points. Number one, आप ये समझिए टेक्नोलॉजी के कारण आप आज मेरे साथ अगर क्लासरूम है, हमारा तो टाइम फिक्स है, आप मेरे से कितनी दूर बैठे हैं, मेरी क्लास में नहीं है, मैं आपको अम्बाला से पढ़ा रही हूँ, आप हो सकता है कहीं पे भी हो। सो टेक्नोलॉजी अलाउज लर्निंग एनी टाइम। अगर मैं ये लेक्चर स्टोर कर दूँ तो आपका जब मन करेगा आप खोलेंगे और पढ़ लेंगे, कहीं पे भी पढ़ सकते हैं। और आपको मेरी भाषा समझ नहीं आ रही, सपोज आई एम नॉट एबल टू क्लियर यू, इट मे बी पॉसिबल आई मे बी फास्ट, यू कैन रीड इट ऑन योर ओन पेस। आप अपनी स्पीड तक पढ़ सकते हैं, ठीक है। सो आप अभी जो टेक्नोलॉजी, सेकेंड पॉइंट यू ऑल आर सीइंग ऑन द स्क्रीन, इट हेल्प्स इन स्टोरिंग एंड रिट्रीविंग द इंफॉर्मेशन। अगर मैंने इंफॉर्मेशन, रिकॉर्डेड इंफॉर्मेशन डाल दी,
एक्चुअली मैम पीपीटी शो नहीं हो रही आपका, शेयर स्क्रीन स्टॉप हो गया है।
ओके ओके, लेट मी सी। ओके, वेरी गुड, बता देना चाहिए आपको, वेरी नाइस।
जिसमें मैं बताने जा ही रही थी।
बहुत अच्छी बात है, इसका मतलब है कि जितने मेरे लर्नर्स हैं कोई सो नहीं रहा। दैट इज वेरी नाइस, सबसे अच्छी बात तो ये है। आई एम ट्राइंग टू प्रेजेंट। अब आप देखिए व्हाट इज द सिचुएशन।
यस मैम, ओके
ओके, अब आप पढ़िए, देखिए सेकंड पॉइंट, टेक्नोलॉजी हमें क्यों लेनी है, हमें क्या जरूरत है। टेक्नोलॉजीज आपकी, हम इसमें डाटा स्टोर कर सकते हैं। आप किसी भी टाइम उसको, आप यूट्यूब पे जाते हैं, कोई भी यूट्यूब खोलते हैं, गाना तो कभी गाया हुआ होगा, यू जस्ट रिट्रीव द इंफॉर्मेशन एंड इट इज इजी टू रिट्रीव इट। सो अगर मेरे क्लास का लेक्चर होता, टाइम पर ना आए होते, the things would have not, you will not be able to see them again. So this way, this is second. Some technologies like CD-ROM and internet allows learners to utilize more than sense organs. मैंने आपको अभी बताया है कि CD-ROM में कई सारी ऑडियो फाइल्स हैं, ग्राफिक्स हैं, एनिमेशंस हैं। अगर जब भी हम कुछ पढ़ रहे हैं, आपकी एक से ज़्यादा सेंसेस इस्तेमाल होंगी। अगर खाली हम सुन रहे हैं, कहीं हम देख रहे हैं, कहीं हम लिख भी रहे हैं, तो मोर द सेंसेस आर यूज्ड एंड द मोर लर्निंग यू हैव। सो टेक्नोलॉजी फैसिलिटेट्स द डिस्टेंस लर्नर्स। सो टेक्नोलॉजी हेल्प्स टू लर्न इवन यू आर डिस्टेंट। और कुछ लोग अपनी क्लासरूम में, दे आर वेरी शाई पीपल, they cannot come in the crowded classes, so technology helps you in the distant learning also. So moreover, आपकी किताब में मटेरियल कम होगा, पर आपकी टेक्नोलॉजी दिस हेल्प्स यू। अब आप, मैं और काफ़ी सारे हम बच्चे एक कोलैबोरेटिव लर्निंग कर रहे हैं। हमारी हम इकट्ठे पढ़ सकते हैं, एक दूसरे का व्यू ले सकते हैं। और मोर ओवर, हम इसके अलावा मैं अभी क्लिक कर कर आपको दिखाऊं कि ये वेब पेज पे जाइए, यहाँ पर ये एक और चीज़ बनी हुई है। तो आपके कई सारे एजुकेशनल रिसोर्सेज आर लाइंग इन द इंटरनेट। So technology helps you to reach to that resources क्या होते हैं, कई बुक्स पढ़ी होंगी, कुछ रिसर्च पेपर्स पढ़े होंगे, कुछ मूवीज बनी हुई पढ़ी होंगी, कुछ स्लाइड्स पढ़ी हुई हो सकती हैं, राइट, तो कुछ ट्रांसपेरेंसीज पड़ी हुई हो सकती हैं। आप उस पर क्लिक करेंगे और असेस करेंगे, आप पहुंच जाएंगे। तो आप कहीं पे भी बैठे हो, टेक्नोलॉजी से यू कैन असेस टू द डिफरेंट एजुकेशनल रिसोर्सेज। यू कैन नॉट, एक जरूरी नहीं है कि आपको किरण आंगरा को ही सुनना है, यू मे नॉट लाइक टू हियर माई वॉइस, बट you want some other experts, you want some more experiences, and you can click to another experts, you can have this lecture from other experts, so that you can access to number of educational resources. Next, you see the motivating learner. The motivation of a learner is important factor in learning, you all know. Motivation during through technology, it is possible to provide a feedback to learners, immediate feedback to the learners. अगर आपने कोई अच्छा काम किया, we can immediately says yes, very good. Multimedia quizzes, there are certain quizzes, there are certain assessment exercises. If you attempt night, immediately there will be a feedback. So that will help you. Yes, my thought process was correct, I could easily reach to the correct answers. So sometimes the data on many sites are not good. If the technology can help you to assist the authentication, you can search, you can identify, you can store from one slide to another slide, and digital material which is available online. You can see the next one. आ गया? ऐसा कर सकते हैं आप। So the next is, you are learning that authenticated research हुई है, अगर आपको वहाँ जाना है, if you want to reach some you want some digital material, अगर आप research कर रहे हैं, so you cannot give to the libraries and keep on searching the material, and you need authentic data just to publish a paper, research paper. You can go for you can search that authentic information, and you can work on it also. This way the technology is useful. Going in the library, you can just see few books, you can read few books, or maybe the books may not be available, that resources may not be available, but technology assists you in assessing the data. सबसे important बात है, we with the grace of God, we can reach where we want, we can do whatever we want, but this is a very important tool for differently challenged population. आपको शायद इस बात का मतलब पता है कि डिफरेंटली चैलेंज्ड पॉपुलेशन का मतलब हो सकता है किसी का विजुअल प्रॉब्लम हो, किसी का कोई लोकोमोटरी प्रॉब्लम हो, किसी का कुछ ब्रेन इश्यूज हो, कुछ, so there are many physically challenged people whose five senses may not be in the right order, they may have some physical disorders. So for them, technology is an extension and transfer for their missing capabilities. You know it well. You must be knowing, for visually impaired, braille lettered terminals are available now. For paraplegic learners, there are several robotic customized devices for interacting with the teaching material are there. For slower learners, the teaching materials can be adopted, ensuring drill practice, exercises, feedbacks, the movement of those in a very small places. धीरे धीरे चलें अगर वो slow learner है. So this way the technology helps them to come up. They can be as good as the children. So technology is helpful to the multilingual population. I may be in Haryana teaching you in my Hindi text, but I may be I may not be knowing Telugu. I may not be knowing different regional language. I may not be knowing many of the language, but this technology help the multilingual learners with automated translators for both the teacher and students. So you must have learned one very important thing. I don't know you have experienced in some of the games or some parks. This is a word called simulations. Simulation means that in reality is not there. Like in if you happen to move to US, there are certain parks that they make you swing over the deserts, over the hills, while there are no deserts or the hills in that theater. But they create such a situation, they make you sit on a swing and make you press a button, give a simulation in the hall, and make you realize, oh, you people are flying. If you come to education, there are some laboratories. You may not reach the laboratories, you may not be able to access the laboratories, or you may not have the scope of field work. But during by technology, but through simulations, we can deploy simulation, we can create micro world, we can tell you tele robotic technologies which are helpful to interact and create a digital environment and do the physical experiments. So in many of our science subjects, virtual labs, virtual space, virtual minds are created, and both the teacher and learner they meet and they learn through this technology. Of course, I have told you nowadays number of uh, uh, technology has facilitated number of physical and mechanical skills. आजकल आपने सर्जरी देखी है, it is complex machinery, and you must have seen the robotics have come into picture. They are all teaching how the robotics will work, what will be the spatio-temporal observations to the demonstrator. Through these technologies, we can operate the surgeries. रोबोटिक सर्जरी यू मस्ट बी नोइंग, आजकल आपने कई सर्जरीज देखी हैं जो कि आपको कन्वेंशनल सर्जरीज नहीं है, आपकी बॉडी में लंबा कट नहीं दिया जाता, सिंपल स्मॉल कट, एक और एक ह्यूमन हैंड भी यूज नहीं होता. Robotics can easily go into your body, perform the surgery, and this is what? This is technology. So these are the technology which makes you to learn number of medical things. The technology, your whole MRI आप पढ़ते हैं, the whole body scans, the whole reading of your body scans are through the MRI machine. What is MRI machine? What is CT scan? They all are technology. So technology makes you to learn how the organs works, how the system, human system works. My dear, I have given you all these points so you people can learn why the, but keep it in mind that human teacher cannot be replaced with the technology. So what we call technology, we called technology only as an enabler of learning. Means it enables you to learn, but it cannot replace the human teacher. So the next I move to the range of technologies. What are the? I hope you must agree with me that technology in education is involved. But when? At the very first print technology came, the whole education is revolutionized by the print technology because they can produce or communicate content to huge number of students. Classroom teachers, what means the knowledge could have been disseminated, was disseminated through print technology, and it becomes because this print technology helps to number of students. When the learners become a large, they cannot be accommodated into the classrooms. So hence the concept of distance education came into pictures. So this is the education, this is the print technology which makes the people to first educate themselves. Then there are a range of technologies which are available. They came into picture. And these technologies are audio-based technologies. As I already told you, old-based technologies हैं. They are old-fashioned technologies. And you all know this radio. we all used to learn Tamle Shaha, the music program on the radio. What is that radio? If you want to learn the music, there is some classical plays over there. It is usually the radio is called a challenging textbook of the air. It was taken like that. So even remote or flung areas can reach with this radio, with this audio based technology. Let me come bring you to this Gyanvani. It is a network of FM dedicated radio stations for educational broadcast by what is this? This is Gyanvani. The IGNU has also taken account this technology, and there is an agreement between the IGNU and the Prasar Bharati. The radio stations, because they could reach a single radio station, can only reach 60 to 75 kilometer around its location. So there is a linked radio stations, interactive radio. This radio broadcast was started, though it is a one-way communication. Then interactive radio counseling started, which is a two-way communication through these stations, and it has got a very good response. So even our IGNU has taken into account the use of this technology to teach their learners. आजकल आप लोग एक वर्ड पूछ रहे होंगे, एप्पल में एक एप्लीकेशन भी आ रही है, पॉडकास्ट. व्हाट इज पॉडकास्ट? This is a podcast is very popular nowadays. People have launched their podcast. What is this basically? Podcast is a web feed audio files. एक audio files are placed on internet for anyone to, and it is this podcast is placed on the internet, and this in podcast there are many files anyone can go and go to the directly to the website and can download. But nowadays people may not allow you to just download the data which is stored in the podcast. There are pod catchers, they exist. They allow you have to subscribe to them, and then automatically you can download your media files and later play them. So you can learn. People have started putting some learning material in that various topics in this podcast, and you can download them and learn. I hope you people know iTunes in Apple mobile. iTunes are the musical stores, and they are available both in Windows and Macintosh. You know the software of Apple. So hence there are number of teaching and learning material available on the post. So these are some of the audio based technologies. Broadcasting. What is a broadcasting? It is a distribution of audio content to the dispersed audience via electronic mass communication. This is the meaning of broadcasting. It is a one way if you use audio. So audio cassettes, audio conferences are also commonly used in our distance education. There are a number of multimedia technologies which gives you hyperlinks, and you can reach to the audio links to learn you attain your materials. So another are the video based technologies. Video broadcast are what is the video broadcast? It is a broadcast, again the communication through signals to the dispersed audience, but they have both video component is also there with the audio component. It has become more popular because you can see as well here. So it allows interactivity also. If there is some video conferences, you can talk to each other also. So, but audio and video, we will discuss. There are certain web-based teaching and learning. What is web-based teaching and learning? This is also कल भी मैंने इसका जिक्र किया था. www. www is what? It is a interlinked web pages which are launched on the internet, and this web www gives you number of hyperlinks, which hyperlinks, आपने अगर कार्टून देखने हैं तो आप कार्टून्स देखेंगे, अगर आपने कुछ ग्राफिक्स में देखना है, if you want some games, you will go to that part. So even if you want to learn something, you will learn. If you want to go to some teaching material, you can look at this. So this type of learning through www, that is World Wide Web, it is called e-learning. You learn through electronic media. So it is roughly divided into the e-learning is can computer-based training. Computer-based, you are seeing on the slide CBT. There, the information, if you talk only on computer, it means the information is stored, and the storage is CD-ROM. You can work offline mode. You can open your CD-ROM, which has some of the stored files. But if you go for the web-based training, that is VBT, the learner is exposed to WW environment. They can communicate with the peers. They can talk to the tutors. They can email. They can send the messages. So this is web-based information. There is a website where the content database informations are also available. So some data you want to find out, pertinent data, you can just can be up. You can get it from CD-ROM or some database storage sites also. And you can understand by this time that through CBT, the interaction takes especially one single level, because interaction is what you are connected the learner with the content only, while through the VBT there is number of tools. It is not simply the learner is seeing the content, but there can be connection, there can be interaction, environment can be different. So through internet we can move to the different hyperlinks and online teaching facilities, and so that we can go for email discussion and chat and like this. I'll be coming soon.
You know, madam.
अरे मैम आपकी किरण मैम आपका आवाज नहीं आ रहा बिल्कुल भी।
Just wait for 2 minutes. She will be back.
ओह सॉरी।
कहते मैम की आवाज नहीं आ रही है क्या? पापा कुछ प्रॉब्लम्स हो गई। Print technologies तो आई नहीं. Yes, we are back now. So what I was just telling you, web-based technologies. You have studied. अभी तक आपने क्या पढ़ा? Range of technologies, audio-based technologies. Audio-based में मैंने आपको बताया radio and its allied broadcasting podcast, video-based technologies, and now we move to the print technologies. कौन सी टेक्नोलॉजीज हैं आप फ्रॉम प्रिंटेड टेक्स्ट कितने सालों से देख रहे हैं? इट कैन बी इन द फॉर्म ऑफ ए बुक, ब्रोशर, न्यूज़लेटर, पावर पॉइंट प्रेजेंटेशन. डिफरेंट टाइप ऑफ सॉफ्टवेयर्स आर अवेलेबल नाउ टू प्रोड्यूस टू यूज द प्रिंट मीडिया, राइट? सो graphics or there the technology has this printing is no more a simple printing. This printing technology, it is not only the text. Now images, illustrations, colors, or different type of drawing, paintings, photographs are being added, incorporated into the text material. So these type of things are called graphics or graphical tricks. There are number of software have developed for this image manipulations. They can be vector graphics, page layout, website development, presentation software, video editing, DVD production, animation, and so on. There are a number of softwares which has developed for this graphic or graphical tricks. So various application areas where is the means you can understand if you presentation is we have been using the charts, graphs, which are presentation effective in an old way, but now to create this presentation graphically we can call it as a presentation graphics. There are number of software which have come for this presentation graphics. They are Apple's Keynote, OpenOffice, Microsoft PowerPoint, Macromedia Director, and graphic software. So you know, for the you have must have heard Adobe Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator. They were earlier imported. Then imported the growth of video and digital photography programs handle these type of media. What I want to say is that in presented these the major functions of the presentation graphics are the editor allows text to be inserted and formatted. Method of inserting and manipulating graphic images. Slideshow systems to display the content. So these are the presentation graphics. So many various application in the area of computer graphic is one of them is presentation graphics. Second is painting and drawing. What you mean by painting and drawing? Drawing, you understand, it is a software application by means using tools that create shapes such as squares and circles in lines of the text. So what is painting? That you don't draw some shapes or squares, but you draw, you change the colors in the image. So such softwares like just I was talking as Adobe Photoshop, Paintbrush, Kitpic offers drawing and painting for children's interface. So there are photo editing is another that you just programs are paint programs. They edit the pictures, controlling the image. They give light and dark colors, uh, and in this way the photo editing is there. So the next is the teleconferencing. These I am talking about the technologies. Interactivity in education, we all understand, is very important as it is two-way communication. So uh, we see the audiovisual programs like some TV programs are there. Every day you are looking them. Interactive uh, teleconferencing, both audio and visual components are today used for instructional purpose also in our distance education. So in teleconferencing and video conferencing, they means simple one thing. We conduct the conference, two or more participants at different site by using computer networks to transmit audio video data and so this is the core technology used in video conferencing, which is called VTC system, is a digital comprehension of audio and video streams. Both audio and video streams are compressed. They perform confess, and the software that performs this compression is codec. And this VTC system needs a video input through the cameras below, video output through computer monitors, audio input through microphones, audio outputs loudspeakers, data transfer through the phone network or the LAN network or through internet. So this is the components of video conferencing, and this is one of the good thing for two-way communication. So you can see the advantages. There are VTC means dedicated systems are there in VTC technology, where everything, whatever I have talked, video input, video output, audio input, data transfer, they are in one system, one console. While in desktop system, they are not in one system. You have separate things, right? Range of cameras, microphones, boards, and they have different dispersed PCs are there. So you have different systems, different instruments, and they are desktops. They form the VTC under the desktop system. So what are the advantages why we are using this video conferencing? Here always the learning is collaborative. हम मिलकर पढ़ सकते हैं. Problem in कोई आप you need not to leave your home or place of work. You can socialize, face to face meetings are there, but there are limitations because there can be technical failure in the equipment. There can be lack of person who is operating the video conferencing may not be skilled much. It may go ineffective. Greater participant preparation and preparation time is needed. One-to-one social interaction is not possible. So there are certain problems with the video conferencing also. Then come the web-based conference. As I already told you that internet is bringing all of us together. We can read anytime, any place, anywhere, at any place. So internet usually facilitates webcast. The webcast is similar to the web, जैसे मैंने आपको broadcast अभी बताया. It also have numerous audio, video, multiple computers at the same time via internet or intranet. It reaches the it reaches the people, it reaches the learner, it helps in interaction. But the problem in this is it requires a highly a high bandwidth and a good quality of hardware. So that's why it has some this back, but it helps you in two-way conversation, two-way communication. So now, what are the applications of technology? What is the application of technology, my dear student? I have told you yesterday, synchronous and asynchronous. Can anyone tell me? आप में से कोई मुझे बता सकता है? कल ही मैंने पढ़ाया सिंक्रोनस और एसिंक्रोनस.
मैम जिसमें टाइम बाउंड, जिस टाइम में कोई बोल रहा है, जैसे अभी आप हमें बता रही हो और हम सुन रहे हैं. हाँ. टेलीफोन कॉल में भी ऐसा कर सकते होता है, वीडियो कॉल में, वेबकास्टिंग में. तो जहाँ पे प्रेजेंटर प्रेजेंट कर रहा है और जो ऑडियंस है वो सेम टाइम में उसको सुन पा रही है, फीडबैक ले पा रही है, तो सिंक्रोनस के एग्जाम्पल है. एसिंक्रोनस में ऐसा पॉसिबल नहीं है. जैसे ईमेल है, आपको ईमेल गया तो आप उसे अच्छे से पढ़, उसके अलग फायदे हैं, आप उसका रिप्लाई कर पाओगी, पर सेम टाइम में नहीं चल रहा है। ईमेल
हाँ,
द्वारा आप कोई टेक्स्ट पढ़ रहे हो, प्रिंट मीडिया है, वो सब एसिंक्रोनस के एग्जाम्पल है।
वेरी गुड, वेरी गुड। बिकॉज आप एसिंक्रोनस के अंदर आप लोगों को मटेरियल दे जाएगा, आपके वहाँ साइट पे पड़ा है, आप जब चाहें जैसे चाहें कहीं बैठे उसे पढ़ सकते हैं। यू कैन एसेस। आपने मुझे ईमेल भेज दी, जरूरी नहीं है मैं उसी वक्त देखूं आपका जवाब दूं, बट आई मे टेक माई ओन टाइम। इस टेक्नोलॉजी की एप्लीकेशन में क्या है, एक एनालॉग एंड डिजिटल, ये दोनों जो जो ब्रॉडकास्ट और फोन ट्रांसमिशन है, दे कन्वेंशनली यूज्ड एनालॉग टेक्नोलॉजी। द एनालॉग टेक्नोलॉजी क्या है कि ऑडियो और वीडियो सिग्नल्स दे आर ट्रांसलेटेड इनटू द इलेक्ट्रॉनिक पल्सेस। फर्स्ट थिंग इज कि पहले उनको पल्स में चेंज किया जाता है, देन दे आर ऑन द मैग्नेटिक मीडियम एंड देन दे रीच्ड टू द रिसीवर। और डिजिटल में क्या होता है कि दिस टेक्नोलॉजी द डाटा इज आइदर पॉजिटिव नॉन पॉजिटिव, जो हमने आज तक पढ़ा हुआ है 0 and 1 बाइनरी सिस्टम पढ़ रखा है कि वो उसी को हम पॉजिटिव कहते हैं और नॉन पॉजिटिव हम जीरो को कहते हैं। तो डाटा इज ट्रांसमिटेड स्टोर इन डिजिटल टेक्नोलॉजी इज एक्सप्रेस्ड in 0 and 1, जो and each of this digit is referred as bytes। आपकी 8 bytes is equal to 8 bits, I'm sorry, the 8 bits is equal to 1 byte। सो एनालॉग एंड डिजिटल आपके पास डिवाइसेस हैं जो इन टेक्नोलॉजीज को यूज करते हैं। लाइक इफ आई टॉक ऑफ एनालॉग टेक्नोलॉजी, फोटोकॉपियर, टेलीफोन्स, आपके एनालॉग और डिजिटल फोन, फैक्स, मॉडेम, they does the converting. A digital recording is thus by converting the right, they are the examples of this technology, while the photocopies, telephones, audio tapes, they are analog signals. But analog signals are not better, they degrade with time. Digital signals are always better, so the technology which use digital signatures, they are better. So that's why the digital devices are modems, computers, digital televisions. Then there is a interactive and non-interactive mode application। आप समझ सकते हैं interactivity, you can understand these words, interactive and non-interactive. Where the one-way communication, it is non-interactive. There is two-way communication, there is interactive. So wherever you can by interactivity is attempted, हमने print media दिया where the interactivity is one way, but still by inserting some self-assessment questions, some activities, some questions along with the text, then it becomes interactive. Otherwise it is non-interactive. So this is the way we refers to the interactive and non-interactive modes. Application of this same is the last, we have a data application. Data is always in the raw form, which is processed into the information, and information helps the understanding of the area. With the evolution of technology, the task of analyzing, processing of data electronically became easy and has revolutionized the various dimensions of human thoughts and working style. Therefore, various technical terms associated with like data, database, database management, data warehousing, data mining, uh, is there for the data applications. So data collection, compilation, processing, storing and sharing finds lot of importance in our education as well as administration activities, supplementing teaching and maintaining student profile, communicating to them, using in administration, uploading their data, how much classes they have passed. You have heard now there is a national directories has come up, national libraries have come up. You can have the digital library which has the stored material in electronic format. All of these are data, all is the collection of material. So you are not possible to read all the books or all the learning materials, but this data application helps you to reach to the data 24/7 throughout the day, any time of a day, any place. So I finishes up by this technology and education transaction. If any queries, I am there. Slide of the. Oh. So, okay, if there are no queries, let's meet tomorrow at 5 o'clock. We will continue with your second block.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you
Thanks
very
for
much.
session.